Hi, welcome to this Pro Knowledge tutorial about SQL or SQL for absolute beginners. I assume that you do not have any previous knowledge about using SQL Server or writing SQL queries. If you have, that will be an added advantage, but this is going to be a very introductory course for people who are new to SQL and who want to learn SQL. So let's get started. Now, SQL is basically a special purpose programming language for querying data in database. So database is nothing but the data store which is behind all your interfaces or the applications you use in your day-to-day life, may it be an mobile application, a website, or a desktop application, the place where you work. Everything and everywhere behind that interface there is a data, and SQL is the language which is used to query that data. Now, who uses it? Who uses SQL? So basically, anybody who is close to IT in their work professions, like business analysts, system analysts, testers, tech or functional people, they all need to know a little bit about SQL. And the application developers, of course, they are going to be the people who are designing the system, so they have to know SQL in pretty detail. So it's an essential skill as a developer, and it's a very useful skill as a business analyst or tester. And everybody in IT in some time or the other needs to know SQL, probably except for your very high management roles. So people who are already experienced and they want to learn SQL, this is the right place. And for students who are new and they want taking SQL courses, so this is a good place to start with the introduction of SQL. So you are the target audience for me. And besides, it's fun. SQL is a great programming language to start with if you don't have any previous programming experience. Now, how is SQL? Is it difficult? Is it easy? Is it small? It is big? It depends upon where you start. So, as with any new language or any new stuff you learn, so it's the same old elephant story. So, where to start um, depends or it impacts your view about it. But SQL is easy to learn, at least in the beginning. So start where you can, but do not stop there. Okay, it's going to be an exciting journey. So what is SQL? It's SQL, which is the short form for structured query language. It's pronounced as SQL. It's a special purpose programming language designed for managing data held in a relational database management system. Okay, so what is this relational database management system? So people who are close to IT will know that there are different types of database management systems, okay, who take care of saving all the data and keeping its integrity and all the stuff in place. So relational database management system is one type of database systems in the IT space. So you can for now assume that the databases you are going to see are mostly going to be relational databases, and the likes of Oracle and SQL Server, these are the two mostly used, and most probably you're going to see this in your workplaces if you find yourself querying data from database. Now the second part of the definition was managing data. So from your perspective, managing means selecting data from the data source, adding data to it, modifying that data, and removing data from data source. Okay, uh, so before we just go on some more theory, it's better that you have a SQL editor or some SQL Server database and its programming interface in front of you. If you already do not have it, I suggest you download this Microsoft SQL Server Express Edition, which is free from Microsoft. If you need any help in installing the Express Edition, you can ask your friend, or you can let me know in the comments, and I can have another video to help you install the Express Edition. For the purpose of demonstration, I'm going to use Microsoft SQL Server 2008 in this video. Okay, so as we saw, so managing data means selecting data, adding, modifying or removing data. But if you're not a developer, if you're not expected to build a system on the database servers and all, most probably you're going to use this part of SQL, that's select. So 90% of times you're going to query data, you're going to fetch data from database the way you want it, and for the purposes uh, the conditions, on which conditions you want it. So you're going to query data for 90% of the times. So that's the easiest place to start. So there we go. And to mention also that SQL is an English like language. It is designed to be a functional language. What does it mean is, you are going to tell the database that this is the data you want. You don't know how to get the data, that's the headache of the database server, the database systems, and you're going to tell them what data you want and what conditions you have in your mind. Okay, so the structure of the select statements, as we call in SQL, or the select query, is this: select, from, where. These are the main three um, you know words you're going to write in your query, which is understood by SQL Server, and it will return you the data. So you say select XYZ values I want from this XYZ place, which is called as a table usually in terms of databases. So we'll see to that. And where, and you'll put the conditions, your conditions which you want that data to you know to abide by. Now the data source in this case usually means tables, as I mentioned. So in the relational database management systems, there are tables in which data are stored, and there are relationships defined between those tables. So tables are nothing but collection of columns, rows, and the relationships between each other. So we'll see those in details when you go to actuator, but I want you to soak in the concept of how the SQL query you're going to write is going to work. Okay, so you don't need to exactly know how it works. What you're going to do is give these components of your query to SQL Server. So you're going to give them where, from, select. Okay, and this SQL Server funnel is going to process it and give you the data you want. Okay, now just a note on tables. So tables are a collection of columns and rows, and there are a lot of stuff to those tables, but we are just going to ignore them for now, because for simplistic perspective this is sufficient. So if you've worked with Excel or some sort of other editors before, so table is the same table. Okay, so it has columns, name, address, profession, phone numbers, like in this case, and there are rows. So the columns define what type of data is going to be there, and rows are going to give the actual data. So there are going to be one or more rows in this table, right? So this whole stuff, this whole structure, these columns and rows, is called as table, and we give a name to a table. So here let's say we call it a customer table. So there are going to be many tables in your database. So suppose there's table 1, table 2, table 3, table 4. Okay, each of these table will contain some specific type of data. Table 1 might contain customers details, table 2 might contain product details and all sort of stuff. And also there are going to be relationships defined between these tables. Okay, we'll keep that topic to for discussion for some other time, because there is going to be a pretty detailed discussion on that. So just remember for now that the tables also have relationships defined between them in terms of the data they store. Okay, now with that much theory in place, let's go and try out some queries so that you'll get actual hands on it. So if you don't have the SQL Server Express Edition or other edition installed on a machine, I suggest that you go and get it, and then come back again to this video, pause this video anytime you want, and then try it out on yourself. So here I have a SQL Server already installed on my machine. I have created a brand new database called learn. Okay, you won't find it in your place, so I'll show you how you can do that. But for now, just remember that this is there. It contains tables as we discussed earlier, and I have created two tables, okay, customer and orders, where we're going to try our SQL queries. Alright, so the simplest query you can write is select from, and remember the where condition. The where was also there, but it's an optional. So if you don't have any conditions, you want all the data in the table, you can just write select from. Okay, now these um, names after select, these are nothing but the columns in this table. So if you see this plus icon against this table, if I click it again, inside that if I see columns, just ignore this for now. So these are the columns in this table: customer ID, name, city, phone. So if I write those, so I say I want customer ID, name, city and phone from the bio.customer. That's the name of our table, right? Now in this editor, if you select this much portion, which is now a query, a qualified query, it may end with a semicolon. It's not necessary, it's an optional. You can completely drop it. I'll drop it. Okay, and if I select it, and this exclamation, this execute button, is what executes the query. It gives this query to the SQL Server database. SQL Server database is going to execute it internally and return that data back to you in here. Okay, so I already ran it, so you're seeing the result, but I'll execute it again, and that those are the results. Fine. So our table contains 5 records with this customer ID, name, city and phone numbers. Now if you look at the phone numbers, okay, you see something as null. Okay, the phone number is going to be something like in digits, right? Null is a special value in databases. So null means absence of a value, so database doesn't know what is in there, or if you don't know what is in there, you can put null at that place. uh, One important thing to understand is that spaces, okay, are not the same as null. So empty space is a distinct value. The phone number is empty spaces. In that case, it will be called empty spaces, but not null. So null specifically means absence of value. So there is no phone number for this customer ID 3 Saurav from Pune. Doesn't the customer phone number is not defined. Same with Sunil from Bangalore. Customer phone number is not defined. Okay. Now here comes the where. So we have written this, right? Select customer ID from the order customer. If you run this portion, this is going to give us the same results again. Now if I include this where condition, in the where I have written phone is null. Okay, so this is, if you see, it's pretty much an English like syntax. So we are saying that give me customer ID, name, city, phone from dbo.customer where phone number is null. So the customers who doesn't have phone number, I want those records. So if I select all that and click run, see, if you get only those two where phone number is null. This is how you define conditions in your query, right? Go and experiment with it. It's much fun. There's the other way around. You can also say is not null. Okay, so this is gonna give us all the customer records where the phone number is not null. Alright, so you got it, right? Now moving ahead, we know that we want all the columns from that table, or so let's say we don't know what are the column names in that table, we don't want to type it all. So there is a shortcut syntax for that, saying star. Star means give me all the columns. Okay, So select star from customer is same as saying that select customer ID, name, city, phone. So star is gonna give us everything. Okay, so if you know just the table name, that's good enough. You can say select star from that table name. It's going to give you all the data in that table. Now, there's a short note here. Because this table is for demonstration purposes, it contains only 5 records, but at your workplace your production databases might have millions of records. So this query is going to be very slow, it's going to take time, and it also might impact your applications which are also selecting data from the same table. So don't do it on your production databases, but you can do it in development environments, or you can just do it on your local. Now we saw where conditions, we say where phone is null, right? We can also specifically ask for values. So say we want all the customers are from Bangalore, so the city is equal to Bangalore. So this is a where condition. If you put, we are going to get all the customers who are from Bangalore. So if you execute this, you see you get 2 customers from Bangalore. So no other conditions are applied, only this one we have written, that's the only one is applied, right? So you can check for null, you can check for not null, or you can specifically ask for a value in that particular column. You can also check for multiple values. So you want all the customers either from Bangalore or Pune, you can use the in keyword. It's again English like, say where city in Bangalore comma Pune. Now you note that I've written it in single quotes because the characters or the strings in SQL have to be written inside single quotes, not double quotes, single quotes. Okay, so if I execute this, I'm going to get customers who are either from Bangalore or from Pune. There's no limit, you can add another comma here and say Delhi, but you know from earlier executions, right, there is no customer from Delhi. This is not going to impact anyway because it is not going to find any records. It will just give us people from Bangalore and Pune because Delhi, there's no record for Delhi. But we know that there is a record for Mumbai. So if I add Mumbai here and if I run this, see I get from Pune, Bangalore, Mumbai as well as. There's a catch here. Suppose I accidentally misspell this Bangalore's name. Now if I run this, I want that all the customers from Bangalore, Pune and Mumbai to be returned. But what's this? I'm getting only from Mumbai and Pune, right? Why not Bangalore? Because this is going to be an exact match. When I say in or I say equal to in early query, that's an exact match. Okay. Now there's a solution for that as well. Yeah, it's a wildcard search. Okay. So if I say select star from DB customer and I say here city like BA percentage, so I know that city's name starts with BA and I don't know what is there after this. Okay, so it can be anything, right? So if I execute this, it is going to give me all the customers whose city name starts with BA, right? And Bangalore is the only city is there in our table, that's why we get only those records. Now the way it is written is instead of equal to we say like. See again English. So we say where city like, and here specify in single quotes the wildcard search. Okay, so BA the character sequence, after that percent stands for any character any number of times. Okay, if I put percent before also, so percent BA percent, that means that there is a sequence BA in the city name. I don't know where it is, it's in the beginning, it can be in the middle, it can be in the end, I don't know where it is. So if I execute this, see I also get Mumbai because BA is also there in Mumbai, is also there in Bangalore, right? So that's how wildcard searches work. It's very funny, it's very exciting, so you can try it out. So here also we have negation, so we can say city not like. Okay, so it's going to invert that condition and guess what, it's going to return us only Pune, because all other records are matching with city like BA. So if you want city not like BA, that's how we are getting record where city is not like BA, right? Now, what if we want to specify more than one condition? Certainly it's possible. The way we write it is like this. Okay, city like percent BA percent, or name like S percent. So name starts with S. I don't know what is there after S. It can be anything. And the city contains BA, beginning, middle, and anywhere. So if I query execute this query, okay, so this is either or condition. Now see if we get all the records, because every record satisfies at least one of these conditions. And Mumbai and Bangalore, they satisfy this condition, city like BA, whereas this Pune customer record satisfies this condition, that name starts with S, name like S percentage, right? That's how you can specify more conditions, because we can have or, we can also have and. We can enforce that both the conditions must be met. So if we replace or with and, now we'll get only records where both the conditions match. That is, the city name contains character sequence BA, as well as the name must start with S. So there are only two customer records matching both these conditions, and because it is and, those are the two records which we get, right? Now we can add as many conditions as we want. So if you see here, we have written like city we want as percent %BA, and we want name starting with S, and we want phone is not null. Okay, so if we execute this, then this is the only record that satisfies all the three conditions, because we have written and here, right? Phone number is not null, city contains BA, and name starts with S. Now there is a little advice here: always put these brackets around your condition so that you know how they're going to execute it, right? So because there's all ands, it doesn't matter, we always want to evaluate all three, but if you put or in one of them, okay, this is going to be interesting. Just try out experimenting with this and see what results come out, right? You can also put as many brackets as you want. So you can put a starting bracket here and end that bracket here. SQL is going to, the editor is going to give you IntelliSense. If you see in the screen this, and if I focus on this end bracket, it is going to highlight the starting of this bracket. Similarly here, so if this one corresponds to this, so it matches perfectly, right? So try out. Okay, now order. So this last one thing I'm going to add, apart from the selects from and where, we can also order the results. Remember in the beginning we do select star from the table, and the records appear in the order they are going to appear, right? So in the order they are there in the table. But if we specifically want to them to come out in a particular order, we can do that like this: select star from table, order by the name of the column. Say we want to order by name, right? So we have to write the name, column name, right? And we specify whether it's descending or ascending. So DESC, it's a short form for descending, right? English again. So if I execute this, let me first execute only this portion. So this is our earlier query, right? So 1 2 3 4 5, Sachin, Rahul, again Saurav, here Mahi and Sunil, right? Now if I add this order by name descending, see that it's scrambled, right? The IDs are scrambled. It's not no more 1 2 3 4 5. It's 5 3 1 2 4, and it's order here. So name is ordered by Sunil, Saurav, Sachin, Rahul, Mahi. It's descending order, right? Now if you want in ascending order, we can write order by name ASC. ASC stands for ascending. Okay, so if I execute this, now it's reverted. So Mahi, Rahul, Sachin, Saurav, Sunil. right? So that's all for now. You can go through all these queries once again and pause and try it out on your own. If you have any questions, if you want any specific portion to be helped out with, like installation of the Express Edition or creating tables, databases, we'll cover it in a separate video. Just let me know your feedback, let me know your um, uh, you know does it help you, what else you want in the video to be helpful for you, and I'll provide that in the subsequent videos. Thank you very much for watching.